event that had occurred, and that
3 children died. That's the event you're referring to, right?
yes.
Okay.
Right. Next question.
Now, as far as the period of time that she was involved with, by the way, what's hypomania?
Hypomania is sort of the gradual increase towards mania, the symptoms that we see in somebody who might have bipolar disorder. And with bipolar disorder, we see mixed depression, and we see mania, and we see symptoms that kind of gradually increase to mania, and we call that period hypomania.
Did she exhibit, to your knowledge from the medical records, any periods of hypomania? Excessive cleaning, exercise, or activities, being awake at night, things of that nature?
At that moment, on January 26th, I don't remember reading about that.
Okay. Do you have any memory of reading about it at all? Other than that moment? As a treating physician, a doctor, psychiatrist?
I don't remember.
So what is your purpose at the hospital? I mean, you're not treating the person for any illness that they have as far as their mental condition, right? You're not treating them.
We are.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
So you're concerned about, obviously, their symptomology, if any, that they present at the time that you're looking at them and talking to them, or in this case, she couldn't talk, but...
She couldn't talk, and she was going into surgery, and we had recommended suicidal precautions. We had recommended trauma-informed care so that she was getting the care that she needed. She was going to go into surgery, and then after that, we were going to continue to follow her and assess her and make sure that we were evaluating her appropriately and making recommendations to the surgical team for the care that she needed.
You all set?
Objection.
Next.
So when you're dealing with this person that's going into surgery, did you know what type of surgery she was going in for?
At the time, we knew that she was going into surgery for her spine.
So Attorney Reddington is setting the stage
I knew that
for she had bipolar, schizoaffective, with psychotic features. He's not leaning towards the postpartum depression. Let's take a listen.
Thoracic vertebrae fractured, including the cervical vertebrae up by her throat. You knew all that?
We were reading about it. It was all actively happening at that time.
Was she in pain?
Yeah, yes, I'm
Yes.
sure she was.
Was she on medication?
Yeah, she was on a few medications related to pain and blood pressure.
So she's brought into the hospital. You knew from reviewing her records as a psychiatrist that in fact she coded the day before, right?
I don't recall her coding the day before I saw her. I do recall from the records that she had a coding event after, I think on the 27th or 28th.
Okay, so you were not involved with her when she coded. Did you know that she had any events of that nature right after she was brought from the South Shore Hospital?
I don't know what you're referring to.
You know what a code is, right?
Yes.
Did she almost die before you saw her?
I think it was after.
Okay. How about perfusion, blood in the body, and tubes being inserted into her chest? Did you know that from looking at the records?
I think that happened after, but
That
I
was
don't
after.
recall because I don't have the records on me.
Okay. So did you know that she had massive transfusions?
Not at the...
On this jury that it was after she saw you that she coded, had transfusions, had double tubes put into her both sides of her lungs? It's your testimony that it was after she saw you? You don't know, do you?
My understanding is the surgery happened after I saw her.
Oh, the surgery did. I'm asking you about the massive transfusions. I'm asking you about the tubes being inserted so that the 300 milligrams or whatever it is of blood can be perfused and taken out of her chest cavity. I'm asking about whether or not you knew that she had coded. I'm not asking about the surgery. Obviously, that took place after you saw her, right?
Objection asked and answered.
No, overruled.
Because that's why you were talking to her, right? To see if she could make an informed consent to a surgery, I guess.
No, I was called for the suicidal ideation.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said that you wanted to talk to her about the surgery as well.
No.
The suicidal ideation continues to this day, does it not?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did the suicidal ideation that you were concerned about continue the time that she was in Brigham and Women's Hospital for a month?
I saw her one time.
Right, no, 20 minutes, right?
Yes.
So you know nothing about suicidal ideation after you saw her intubated and then laying in.
When we see you,
So right now,
we see ourselves.
Reddington is setting the stage for his
Being one of the nation's
bipolar
best
defense.
means we treat every single heart.
Let's go back to it.
In that room, were there not?
I don't recall. I think they were outside the room, if I remember correctly, from 3 years ago.
Okay, I know it's been a while. Do you recall armed police officers being outside the room?
I think I don't recall.
Do you have any memory of any police officers being outside the room where she was laying in that bed?
I knew she was in custody, and generally in custody.
No, not generally. Let's talk about Lindsay Clancy.
I can't recall.
Okay. Did you know that she couldn't even have visitors in the sense that the police would not even let her mother or father visit with her?
I can't recall.
Did you know that when you were dealing with her, was she handcuffed to the side of the gurney or the stretcher?
She had a soft restraint, according to my documentation.
Soft restraints, okay.
Yes.
Did you have any conversation with the police at all?
No.
And after you spoke to her for 20 minutes, that really ended your involvement with Lindsay Clancy until today, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Redirect.
Doctor, when you were being asked about these records that you reviewed, what records did you review?
I reviewed the records in EPIC, which is our medical record at Brigham and Women's Hospital.
And so you didn't do a deep dive into Miss Clancy's entire psychiatric history prior to coming to Brigham and Women's, correct?
I did, as you do, as is protocol for a consult, you look at the records and you make sure you have an understanding of what's been happening with the patient.
But did you have access at that time to all the records for all the treatment providers Ms. Clancy had seen regarding her mental health for the last 6 months?
You know, I don't even know. I had some of the records. I don't know if I had all of the records.
Okay. And so you reviewed what you had, correct?
Correct.
And then you met with the patient, correct?
Correct.
And in meeting with her, where she's had these events happen. She's had the tubes in her chest. She's about to go into surgery. One of the first things on her mind is, do I have a lawyer? Correct?
Strike that. First of all, it wasn't that.
Wow.
Secondly, this is the fourth
Wow.
time the council has tried to accentuate that.
Well, I'll allow that question. Go ahead.
Well, that was one of her first thoughts was, do I have a lawyer, correct?
She wasn't able, she was exhausted. She was intubated. She could barely talk. She was writing and she was getting ready for surgery. And so those were the few questions that came up.
Right. She's exhausted. She's anxious. She's in pain. She's about to go in for surgery. And she wants to know, do I have a lawyer?
Sustained.
So given the condition she was in at that time, the defense counsel asked you about the pain she was in. Defense counsel asked you about the surgery she was about to go into. Those are the issues that she was focused on.
Yes.
In your conversation with her, am I broken? Are my legs straight?
Yes.
Do I have a lawyer?
Yes.
Thank you.
She wasn't focused on much while she was exhausted, in pain, anxious, and concerned about the future surgery that she was imminent, was she?
If you could speak up, ask that question.
Sorry. She wasn't focused on much of anything while she was exhausted, in pain, unable to talk, and anticipating imminent surgery, right?
That's correct.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Anything, Como?
No.
All right, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you.
It got a little heated here with this doctor, as we can see. Let's see who the Commonwealth's calling next.
Robert Flynn as its next witness, please.
Her husband had previously said when he spoke to her a week in the hospital that she had been there, she was really only concerned about herself, what she went through. She never really asked about those kids, never really talked about it. And they're proving that here once again, saying, you know, how are my legs going into this surgery? Do I have a lawyer?
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Yeah, Attorney Buckingham, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Robert Flynn, F-L-Y-N-N,
And how are you employed, sir?
from the Duxbury Police Department.
What is your current rank or assignment there?
And currently, I am a patrol sergeant.
How long have you been with the Duxbury Police?
About 7.5 years.
Going back to January of 2023, what was your assignment then?
I was assigned to the Detective Bureau.
So if I draw your attention to January 24th of 2023, were you working that day or were you called in?
Both. I worked the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. shift, and I was called in later after my shift.
Okay, so you became aware of an incident that occurred in the town of Duxbury approximately 6 p.m. that evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you come back in after working that day shift, where do you go or where are you directed to go?
I was contacted by Sergeant Detective Jamali, who informed me to respond to 47 Summer Street.
And so while you're en route to that location, are you monitoring the radio?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you monitoring communications with other Duxbury officers?
Yes, ma'am. I had a department-issued vehicle that I took home, and I responded to it in that vehicle, and I had scan on, which is getting all surrounding agencies, including fire, Pembroke, Kingston, Marshfield.
And while you were en route and had that radio on, could you hear officers screaming and it being chaotic?
Yes, ma'am.
When you arrived at 40, that the children that were on scene had already been transported.
No.
Okay, so what did you know when you arrived? What did you?
I knew that there was an incident involving children. I learned that when I initially responded and spoke to Sergeant Homestead. He was the one that informed me that it appeared that a mother had killed her 3 kids.
Okay, but when you got there on the scene, were the children still in the house?
So I was under the impression that they were still in the house because most incidents I've had involving a sudden death at a house, the fire department declares them on scene and it becomes a police matter, and we help with the investigation.
Okay, and that was your understanding based on the information that you had, correct? But did you come to learn that the children had been transported?
Yes, ma'am.
And how about the individual, the person, the
Very interesting that the prosecutor went back to law enforcement again. Just listen.
And as a result of kind of the nature of what you believed you were coming into, did you call for extra help?
Is it our own department or?
With an outside department?
Yes. So the Massachusetts State Police has jurisdiction over any death investigation in town of Duxbury and other communities. So we are to notify investigators of the state police.
And as a detective at the Duxbury Police, you're familiar with that relationship with the state police, that oftentimes when a death investigation occurs, that you work in connection with the state police detectives unit of that jurisdiction to conduct an investigation, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so in this instance, when you went there, you believed that the children had already passed, so you made that phone call to the...
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about
So
it.
right now we're
44.
talking once again to law enforcement. I don't know where the prosecutor's going with this. I think we already have it clear on what happened in that house with law enforcement. I thought we moved up because we were speaking to the doctors and the ICU nurses, and now we're back to it. Let's take a look. Let's listen in.
There was no further suspects or further victims or any other people in the house that we may have missed.
In regards to this security sweep, what is the goal? You just described it to kind of identify if there are other people, but as far as your observations and your contact within the house, do you try to minimize your contact within the house in those instances?
Yes, I'm not searching for any type of evidence. I just have different observations that I obviously notice.
And what areas of the house did you go into prior to the arrival of the state police?
I entered with three of us. Sergeant Patricus, who's from the Kingston Police Department, and it was Lieutenant Weiler at the time. So we all kind of went into our own separate rooms and separate ways throughout the house. But I think ultimately all three of us went to all three floors of the home.
Okay, and so talking first about the main floor of the house, did you go into the kitchen area?
Yes, I did.
And did you make any observations in that kitchen area?
I observed, it was clear to me that there was young children living there. There was some paintings on the wall. I noticed a takeout food bag. The only word I remember from that is it being Mediterranean, written on the receipt.
Okay. And if I may approach with a picture. Showing you the pictures accurately depict the kitchen area that you observed.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll move to a
That may be admitted.
Just kind of showing you on the screen what's now been marked as Exhibit 44. This is the kitchen at 47 Summer Street, and in the middle of the photograph is a takeout bag, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're aware that in the background here of the photograph where there's a kitchen table, there's kind of a door next to it,
Yes, ma'am.
and then there's, on the other opposite side, there's a slider door, correct?
Correct.
And in addition to making those general observations about the kitchen area, did you go in other areas of the main floor of the house?
Yes, I did.
And in the living room area, I'll show you what's been marked already as Exhibit 25. Is that familiar to you as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, upon your kind of sweep of this house, what stood out to you about the living room area?
There appeared a young child lived there, and there was food on the couch, a snack.
And in this photograph, can you see a couple bowls, a bowl here on the bottom of the photo and a bowl further up on the couch?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in that main area of the house, you didn't find any other individuals, correct?
Negative.
And had you been made aware that the husband, Patrick Clancy, had been on scene and he had also been transported from the area?
Patrick Clancy was on scene when I was there.
Okay. At some point, did he go in an ambulance?
Yes.
Now, in that second floor of the house, well, let me ask you, what's the next area of the house that you recall going through in this suite?
Into the basement.
Now, were you advised that things had occurred in the basement?
I think so. I'm not really.
Okay. And fair to say, this was still, upon your arrival, a pretty chaotic scene.
Correct.
There was a lot of firefighters around, a lot of equipment going around.
Correct.
Okay. In that basement, did you do a full sweep of every room in the basement?
Like I said, three of us combined and made sure that we at least hit every part that a human or something could be in. So, yes.
Okay, but as far as you yourself, fair to say you just kind of went in on the left side?
Yes, I went into the left.
And did you see a lot of the firefighters' equipment still left behind?
Yes.
A lot of medical supplies?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, going up to now the second floor, did you go to the second floor of the home?
The top floor?
Yes.
Yes.
And did you enter into the master bedroom?
Yes.
And is there anything that kind of struck you about walking into that master bedroom as far as the temperature of the room?
It was colder than the rest of the house.
And did you notice that there was, in fact, a window open?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 43. Is that familiar to you as the window that you observed open?
Yes, ma'am.
And As far as the furniture in that bedroom, did you make any observations of a bed in the room?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anything that stood out to you on the bedding or in the area of the bed?
The bedding itself?
If it stood out to you.
Not necessarily, no.
How about
the
the
first
items on the bed?
Yeah, so Sergeant Patrigas pointed out that there was a cell phone on the bed.
Okay, I'm just going to show you. It's already been marked as Exhibit 42. And you see there's an object. Is that how it appeared when you first entered into the bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
The phone. At some point, were you able to go out to the backyard of the home?
Yes, ma'am. So after leaving the upstairs, we went back through the kitchen, and that's what we talked about earlier, and went up through the back slider.
And were you able to make observations of the backyard area?
Yes, we came up to a porch and took a left, which would have been the back right side of the house. And there was some matted down snow and some other medical equipment, which we believed was the window that Lindsay Clancy came out of.
And from that area or that vantage point in the backyard where you were, could you see into other areas of the house?
Yes.
And what areas of the house could you see into?
Near where that area was, there was a basement window that kind of went into, but I later learned what it was, but a basement window to like an office or gym area.
Show you Exhibit 38. Is that familiar as the backyard view?
Yes, ma'am.
And fair to say there's an area here of the photo that I'm pointing to with my pen, which is kind of on my right. That is a window well. Is that the window you could see into?
Correct.
And then again, in this photograph, do you see the open window that you observed when you went into the bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as that open window, when you were in the backyard, did you see any screens or anything around the property that would give you any indication of how that window was open or the condition of the window?
No, to me it appeared that the screen was just pushed up.
Now again, as you and the three other investigators did that sweep of the house, you didn't touch or move anything, correct?
Negative.
And once you did that security sweep, is there a protocol in place to make sure that the scene remains as it is until the state police arrive?
Yeah, so there was, one of the officers was logging individuals that were in and out of the house. Crime scene tape was put up around the property. The doors were secured, and around this time is when I received a phone call from Trooper McKellican.
Okay. And did you remain on scene?
We remained on scene until some troopers showed up to the area.
Okay. And while you were on scene, did you attempt to help coordinate other members of the Duxbury Police Department to take care of other things like going to the hospitals and securing coverage?
The decision for who was going to the hospital was made by our command staff, but I met some of the troopers back at the station to coordinate further.
Okay, and when you were back at the station, were you aware or advised that a search warrant was sought for the residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go back to 47 Summer Street?
If you're always answering yes when Claude asks you a question like this, you don't.
So right now we're talking to
run Claude with dangerous.
one of the patrol officers. They're talking about her jumping out the window. Let's take a listen.
Okay. Fair to say, though, you didn't, you weren't responsible for searching any particular location or collecting any evidence?
No, ma'am.
That was reserved for the state police?
For the most part, yes.
At the conclusion of that search warrant, were you asked to go back into the house?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were you asked to go back in the house to do?
Once the search warrant was completed, my lieutenant told me to go back up into the house and close the window in the upstairs bedroom.
And when you went back and got closer to that window, did you make any observations of damage to the window or the window screen?
No.
And were you able to close it and secure the window?
Eventually, yes.
Fair to say there was blood in that area that kind of was in the way?
Yes, and the bed was kind of pushed in front of it.
Okay. So did you have to move the bed in order to get to the window?
Yes, ma'am.
As far as anything removed from the home, Did you go back into the basement at somebody's direction?
No, ma'am.
At some point, had you helped to remove some medical equipment that the fire department had left behind?
That was during the search warrant.
Okay. And is that the only items that you yourself removed from the home?
Correct.
As part of the follow-up investigation, did you work with Trooper McGilligan and some of the other troopers from the State Police Detectives Unit to conduct follow-up interviews and gather more information?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fair to say that the State Police were the primary investigators and they took over pretty much everything from that point on?
That's correct.
I have nothing further. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Reddington.
I have no questions. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commonwealth calls Mark Farioli.
Next up is Mark Barioli. Another law enforcement again.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Honey?
Yes,
Thank you.
please.
Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
I'm Detective Mark Farioli, F-A-R-I-O-L-I.
Where do you work?
The Massachusetts State Police.
How long have you been a state trooper?
Since 2005.
And back in January of 2023, where were you assigned within the state police?
I was assigned to the Plymouth County State Police Detective Unit.
And were you involved in a limited way in the investigation regarding Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I was.
And specifically directing your attention to January 27th, 2023, were you aware that a search warrant was obtained on that date to collect the blood and urine of Lindsay Clancy from South Shore Hospital?
Yes, I was.
And then directing your attention to January 31st, 2023 at 10:25 in the morning, did you go to the South Shore Hospital to collect the blood and urine of Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, I did.
And where did you collect that from?
The lab at South Shore Hospital.
And was that from the specimen process supervisor, Melissa Akerdepane?
Yes, it was.
And do you recall how many vials you collected?
In total, I collected 7 vials.
And was that all blood or urine or both?
6 were blood vials and 1 was urine.
And once you collected those vials, where did you bring them?
I brought them directly to the Massachusetts State Lab in Lakeville.
And did you drop those off at the state lab at approximately 11:15 a.m. on January 31st, 2023?
Yes, I did.
And do you recall who you gave the vials of blood and urine belonging to Lindsay Clancy to at the lab?
Leah O'Connell.
Thank you.
Mr. Reddington?
We have stipulated to the chain of custody for the blood.
All right, any questions?
No, I don't have, thank you, sir. I have no
All right,
questions.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, this came up when the lab technician, basically they were talking about the chain of custody. So I don't know if they might be trying to create some doubt in there about how her labs were collected. Let's listen. Okay, who's this?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. Counsel?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Leah O'Connell, Leahoconnell.
Where do you work?
Currently, I'm employed with the Massachusetts State Police as a trooper.
Back in January of 2023, were you also employed with the state police?
I was at the crime lab.
And what were your responsibilities at the crime lab at that time?
So I was a forensic evidence technician, so we would receive evidence submitted to the lab for testing.
And once you received that evidence at the lab, well, first of all, who would you receive that from? Would that be chemists? Would that be troopers? Who would it be from?
It was local, state, sometimes federal agencies, but there was also scene evidence gathered by chemists that we would have to log into the system.
And so would it be your responsibility to take that evidence, log it into the system, and move it along for a process through the lab?
Yes.
And were there tracking numbers or lab numbers that you would assign to evidence in order to keep track of it as it progressed through the lab?
Yes, every case gets its own number.
And directing your attention to January 31st, 2023, at 11:15 a.m., do you recall receiving 6 vials of blood and 1 vial of urine belonging to Lindsay Clancy from Trooper Mark Farioli?
I did.
And when you received those items, did you log them appropriately into the system with her case number?
I did.
And how were they stored after that point?
So they go into a heat-sealed pack. So it's like a plastic bag that gets heat-sealed, initial and dated, and then it goes right into a fridge.
Okay. Thank you.
Attorney Reddington?
No questions. We stipulate to the blood, so.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. They stepped out. Thank you.
Commonwealth calls John Santos.
We are waiting for John Santos. Where is he?
Switch to Google Fi Wireless and feel confident taking important
So right now we're waiting for John Santos. I'm not sure if this is another state trooper, another law enforcement, but we will see. Still waiting. We have to go to the bathroom. Here he comes.
All right, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Attorney Sprague, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Good afternoon. My name is John Santos, John-Santos.
Where do you work?
The Massachusetts State Police.
And what department are you currently in?
I'm assigned to the Division of Investigative Services.
And back in January of 2023, what was your assignment?
I was assigned to the State Police Detective Unit in Plymouth County.
And were you, specifically on January 24th, 2023, were you part of a search warrant team at 47 Summer Street in Duxbury?
Yes, I was.
And what was your role in terms of where you were assigned to search within the home?
I searched multiple locations to include the basement, the kitchen area, and then the master bedroom on the second floor.
Okay. And specifically directing your attention to the kitchen area, did you search a cabinet in the kitchen above and to the right of the stove?
Yes, I did.
description of the items you found in that cabinet on January 24th, 2023?
Yes, it is.
You could have this photo marked as the next exhibit.
All right, that may be admitted. May be admitted.
Showing you exhibit 145 on the screen here. Focusing your attention on the top shelf, there were several notebooks and books that were seized. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were those taken out of the cabinet and cataloged by the state police?
Yes, they were.
Show you 5 items. If you could just look through these and let me know if these were the items that were taken.
We'll stipulate that those are the items that were in her kitchen.
If I could have these marked as the next 5 exhibits, please.
Do you want the 5 separate, 5A through?
5 separate,
Okay.
please.
Curious to see what's in those notebooks.
All right, thank you.
And sir, showing you what's been marked 146. Those appear to be discharge paperwork from McLean Hospital for Lindsay Clancy.
Yes.
Discharge papers.
And this discharge paperwork on the 3rd page included a list of medications. Is that correct?
Yes.
So we have lorazepam 1 milligram, melatonin 5 milligrams, and trazodone 50 milligrams, correct?
Correct.
Along with description of when she used to take those medications, correct?
Correct.
Melatonin, lorazepam, trazodone at night.
Instructions on the 6th page in about resources for therapy and community services, correct?
Correct.
And then Exhibit 147 is a notebook. Inside, it had postpartum depression and anxiety patient information sheet, correct?
Correct.
And then a detailing of different medications and the amounts taken and the dates they were taken, correct?
Yes, correct.
Then there was the book, Good Moms Have Scary Thoughts, item 148, correct?
Correct.
And then 149, a postpartum, pregnancy and postpartum anxiety workbook, correct?
Correct.
And nothing is filled out in this workbook, correct?
Correct.
And then finally, Exhibit 150, a notebook labeled Callan Patrick Clancy, correct?
Correct.
And inside this were messages back and forth between Lindsay Clancy and the nanny, correct?
Correct.
Now you mentioned that you searched several rooms in the home, correct?
Yes, correct.
How do you divide that up? How is it decided who's going to search where when you're doing a search like this in a home?
It's somewhat fluid. We try not to send too many people in one room at a time because we end up tripping over each other to a certain extent. So, Usually it's kind of as we go along because we don't have an idea of what the layout of the house is before we get there, so it's difficult to plan that. So the supervisors who are overseeing the search will direct different troopers or investigators to search different rooms.
And so you said you searched the kitchen area, correct?
Yes.
Were you present when prescription medication was found in the kitchen, or had you already moved on?
I don't recall the medication being found while I was there.
And when you search a room, are you the only one searching, or are there other team members searching different parts of the room, kind of a divide and conquer?
Exactly, that's how it is. We divide and search different sections of the room.
Okay. And you said you went to the basement area. Do you remember what side of the basement you searched?
I was in the office portion of the basement.
Okay. And had anyone already been in that room, or were you the first to go in, or did you know?
I believe somebody had already been in that room when I made my way down there. I don't recall who was in there, but I don't think I was the first person to make my way in that room.
And you didn't collect anything in that room, correct?
I did collect some items in the office, yes.
What items did you collect in the office?
There was, I believe, 2 laptop computers and a external hard drive.
And so you collected those items from the office, and when you do a search warrant, is there one trooper assigned to keep track of everything that's found, where it's found, who found it?
Yes, there is.
Okay. And so do you recall who that person was in this case?
I don't recall, no.
But when you do find something, is it you bring it to that person and they kind of log it, and then you move on and keep looking for other things?
Normally the evidence officer would come down, we assign them and label them the evidence officer for each search warrant. They would come down to the area.
When you have everything you need.
If the prosecutor says, one more time, I'm gonna scream.
Scene services photo the item in place as well before it was collected. So the evidence officer would come to us.
Okay, so for example, with the laptop, photos would be taken of them in the office, and then they would be logged, and then they'd be taken out of the office.
Exactly.
And is that what happened with the books and the notebooks that we discussed earlier?
Yes.
And you said that you then went up at some point to the main bedroom, the master bedroom?
Yes.
And what did you do inside the master bedroom?
I assisted with searching the master bedroom. I don't believe I recovered anything within there.
Do you recall ever looking in the nightstand drawer or anywhere near the nightstand by the open window?
I don't believe I did, no.
Okay. And is there any reason why you wouldn't have gone into that drawer or looked in that drawer?
Somebody else was probably already searching that area, would be my guess.
What area did you search in the bedroom?
I believe there was a closet. When you walk into the bedroom, I believe there was like a closet area to the left. I was in that area, and then I made my way at some point, to the left side of the bed as well.
And did you find anything in the bedroom of note?
No.
Now, when you're doing a search warrant, right when an investigation happens, how do you know what to look for?
Well, it depends on what you're investigating. This case specifically, we knew the facts what we knew at that time. So, I mean, when I noticed those notebooks in the cabinet, certainly I thought that information was pertinent to this investigation based on what we knew. But every investigation is a little bit different. The facts are different. So, yeah. I mean, clearly you want to look for items that relate to the suspect, victims, or any associates of them, and it might relate to the incident that's being investigated.
When the search was being done in the home at 47 Summer Street that night, did officers already know that Miss Clancy had crushed up pills and taken them with lemonade?
No.
Okay. Had you learned from Patrick Clancy, the husband, that Miss Clancy had been prescribed some medication?
I did, yes.
Okay. And were you aware at some point that medication was found in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. I have nothing further. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Reddington?
Who found the medication in the kitchen?
I don't recall, sir.
It certainly wasn't somebody randomly off the street. It was a cop, right?
Yeah, a police officer and investigator,
police.
sir. Yes.
And,
well, we had some local officers there with us as well.
Yeah. So it was law enforcement that found the pill bottles in the kitchen, right?
I believe so.
And seized them. Is that correct?
Correct.
And documented that they had seized them in the kitchen, feeling someone, whoever it was, that it was relevant material to this investigation, right?
Correct.
And the books that we've just gone through, someone felt that a notebook captioned Callan Patrick Clancy would be relevant material to this investigation, right?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Along with the pregnancy and postpartum anxiety workbook, right?
Correct.
Along with the good moms have scary thoughts, right?
Yes.
Along with the documents pertinent to the McLean Hospital where she had been discharged from, right?
Yes.
Along with another notebook that had postpartum depression and anxiety, correct?
Yes.
There were also other documents that were, items, I should say, that were seized in the house that have already been introduced to the record. Exhibit 1, and looks like a diary. Exhibit 3, slept well last night, things of that nature. That was seized as well, right?
I believe so, yes.
You know why all these were seized?
Why the books that I seized were seized?
No. Your investigation. Are you a lieutenant, a sergeant?
I'm a captain, sir. Yes, sir.
And back then, what was you a captain?
I was a lieutenant at that time.
You were the ranking officer in the search?
No, there was also a detective lieutenant assigned unit commander at that time.
So, but you're up there enough and you knew from the investigation what was relevant and material in the investigation, right?
Yes.
And obviously you or somebody else working with you determined that all of these items, the pills that were seized, the books that were seized from the kitchen, et cetera, were relevant and material, correct?
Yes.
Do you know who searched the bedroom? I know you said you were in there. Did you search the bedroom?
I was part of the team that searched the bedroom. There were a number of other officers that searched the bedroom as well. I believe in the report, it documents who seized what from the bedroom.
Okay.
So I don't know off the top of my head who that was, sir, but I know it's clearly labeled in the report.
Okay. Do you have the report?
I do not, no.
Do you recall how many law officers were actually involved in that little bedroom searching?
I would have to guess approximately 5.
5? And as counsel asked, when somebody discovered something that appeared to be relevant to material, they would log it in. Somebody that would kind of be the record keeper would log it in, correct?
Yes.
Is there any, one of the things that you would also, you yourself, I believe, seize would be the laptop computers that were downstairs in the office, right?
Yes.
And you seized also, collectively you, I mean you or the other 5 people, seized the cell phone that was on the bed.
Yes, I believe there was a cell phone seized from the bedroom.
So it made sense as an investigator that electronic media and things of that nature would be important, correct?
Yes.
Was there an Apple Watch involved in this investigation, if you know?
I believe there was an Apple Watch recovered after the fact. We didn't recover at the search warrant, if I recall correctly.
Do you know when it was recovered?
I don't know exactly off the top of my head, no, sir.
The Apple Watch that I recovered with Pat Clancy?
I believe so, sir. Yeah, I believe there was a watch that was turned into us after the fact. It wasn't recovered during the search warrant.
So looking at this drawer, do you recall that next to the bed, or in the bedroom, there was a nightstand and there was a drawer? And inside the drawer were a bunch of pill bottles, an Apple Watch, sleeping aids, things of that nature?
I didn't search that drawer, sir.
Okay, I don't mean to embarrass you, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Do you know why nobody bothered to search that drawer?
I don't know that it wasn't searched. I just know that I didn't search it, sir. So it may have been searched, and maybe whoever searched it didn't feel that information was pertinent to seize. I can't speak for them, but I can tell you that I didn't search that drawer.
Okay. Go ahead.
Redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
The Commonwealth will call Corey Mello as its next witness.
guys think Attorney Redding was going with that? Like, you collected books, but you didn't collect medication. I would think it would be pertinent to collect bottles of medication, Apple Watch, sleeping aids, things like that, as well.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Bring Buckingham, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Could you please tell the jurors your first and last name?
Corey Mello,
And can you spell your first name for the record?
C-O-R-Y,
And your last name?
M-E-L-O.
And how are you employed?
I work for the state police.
In what unit or what's your current assignment with the state police?
Currently, I work for the commercial vehicle enforcement section.
Going back.
I make every woman I know take this trauma archetype test. My sister took it last week, and she was sure she would get the overachiever, but she got the
Mayor's office at that time.
With the state police detective unit?
Correct, yes.
And I'm going to draw your attention to January 24th, 2023. Were you involved in the investigation into the incident that occurred at 47 Summer Street in Duxbury on January 24th?
Yes, I was.
And fair to say that when state police got involved in that investigation, a large group of the state police detective unit went out to Duxbury to work that investigation.
Correct.
Were you the case officer in that case?
I was not the case officer.
Your role in that case, was that to assist in things like search warrants, neighborhood canvasses, interviewing of witnesses?
Correct, yes.
And in this particular investigation, you're aware that there was a search warrant executed at 47 Summer Street after the incident had occurred, correct?
Correct.
And as part of the search warrant execution, were you involved in searching the home?
Yes, I was.
And did you search the various floors of the home, meaning the basement, that first floor, and the second floor?
Yes.
In searching that home, there were a number of other detectives and troopers also searching, correct?
Correct.
Do you recall locating a phone in the upstairs bedroom, a laptop, some workout bands in the basement that were hanging on the door?
Yes, I do.
And when you recovered these particular items or located these items, did you then turn them into an evidence officer or direct an evidence officer to things that you thought might have some evidentiary value?
Yes.
At some point after the search warrant was over, you're aware a lot of items were brought back for further examination, correct?
Correct.
Is that common that when you're working on a search warrant, things are kind of... Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
You all right?
Is it common that a lot of times a search warrant, things are collected and brought back for further examination?
Yes.
Is that because it's kind of chaotic there and can't really examine things thoroughly on scene?
That's correct, yes.
So in this particular circumstance, were you asked to review some books and journals?
Yes, I was.
And I'm just gonna... If I may approach the witness.
Sure.
Just showing you an item. Is that familiar to you?
Yes, it is.
You didn't locate this on that night, did you?
No, I did not.
But you had the opportunity to review the contents of it at a later date?
Correct.
I would move to admit this crime journal.
All right, that may be admitted.
The court reporter is hacking away. What is going on?
Kels, can I see you sidebar just for a second?
They're on sidebar because the court reporter, she's talking in that thing and she can't stop coughing. It is already almost 3:30, and they probably will be ending very soon. But yeah, she was definitely hacking away there. Very interesting today that they jumped from 2 ICU nurses, the psychiatrist who saw her for the most time that she was at Brigham's, and they jumped to the forensic psychiatrist who also saw her. Then they jumped back to the law enforcement that was in the house. So maybe they're following the chain, like they're following her along the journey, you know, from, because these are all officers, state police, etc., that went back after the incident. So I guess it does, when I look at it like that, it does make sense. They followed her through her healthcare journey, and then they turned back around and they're coming back to things that they collected from the house once they realized what had happened. Very interesting to me, though, that there were 5 officers, state police officers, checking one room, and they didn't get all those medications that were by the bed. That was a lot of meds. Not sure what happened. They missed that, but they did get postpartum books and, you know, things that she wrote out to communicate with her nanny and things like that. So we will see. The court reporter needs some water. She was definitely hacking away there. They're still not back. They do take a lot of sidebar, a lot of breaks here. Like probably can't get through 10 minutes without a break popping in there. Like, can I see you on the side? Can I see you on the side? There's a lot of sidebar. I hear some whispering.
Thank you.
We're back.
Trooper Mello, just in relation to now what's been marked as Exhibit 151, the Brown Journal, and just noting that when the journal opens to the first page, there's no dates on it, correct?
Correct.
And in those first few pages, just highlighting page 1, you reviewed these handwritten entries, and at some point in this paragraph, it says, obsessed with his sleep and nap schedule like to the minute. It says, hearing him cry for 1+ hours and not intervening just about killed me. I even said the words, I want to die, to Pat while he was crying. After that, I became obsessed with his sleep and nap schedule, like to the minute. That's one of the entries you reviewed and
Correct.
noted.
Yes.
Page 2 says, I also feel like I did it wrong because I did it when he was overtired, so it made it harder. Now I have horrible insomnia and anxiety. You recall reviewing that in the journal.
Correct, yes.
Page 4 of the journal says, why else I feel guilty? He's not really hitting his milestones. Again, that's a page that's not dated in this journal, correct?
Correct.
Page 8. I'm completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the 3 kids. I feel like I'm drowning every day. Again, another page that's not dated.
Correct.
At some point, there are some dated pages in this journal, fair to say, right?
Yes.
And there's one on November 18th. And November 18th, that page reads, it's like I'm so desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone that my mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. You recall reviewing that in the journal?
Yes.
Now, in addition to the Brown Journal, when you were back at the office, you also had the occasion to review some of the other journals collected, right?
Correct.
This journal I'm holding up, exhibit number 147, is that familiar to you?
Yes.
And again, this is a journal that has handwritten notes in it, very similar to the handwriting in the Brown Journal you reviewed?
Yes.
And fair to say, the entries in this notebook only span a few pages and only go from October 13th as the first entry and the last one being January 18th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And this third journal that you reviewed after the search warrant, exhibit number 50, the yellow journal with Callan Clancy's name on it, You recall that?
Yes, I do.
And you are aware Callan Clancy was one of the children?
Yes.
Okay. And in this instance, did you see similar handwriting from the other two journals that you reviewed?
Yes, I believe there was 2 separate.
Okay. At some point in this, these entries, you began to notice there were other handwriting.
Correct.
At the time you were looking at this, did you know who the other handwriting was?
At the time, no.
Who it belonged to? Okay. And fair to say, reviewing the contents of it, it's a pretty detailed list of a schedule for the baby.
Correct.
You're one sentence away from launching your website with Base 44.
Interesting.
Since the
So,
beginning of the internet, there's never been such a fun, fast, and
basically
intelligent way to
pointed
launch
out that
online.
Lindsay was saying in there,
Landing
I
pages,
need a break.
content hubs, e-commerce sites, you describe it, and it's
Let's go back
So
into
one
it.
of the things that the district attorney did was read to you certain entries from what is referred to in your report as the Tree of Life Artisan Journal, correct?
Correct.
And when you refer in the report to the Tree of Life Artisan Journal, is that this here? What do you call the Tree of Life? Is there a diagram or a picture of the tree on it?
Should have a tree on it, yes.
But in any event, you would recall that that particular diary or notebook set forth on a number of pages her feelings dealing with her children. Is that fair?
It's fair to say, yes, sir.
And you wrote in your report on page 19 of 63, counsel asked you first about her stating that she had horrible PTSD from sleep training Callan, hearing him cry for 1 hour plus and not intervening just about killed me. I even said the words, "I want to die" to Pat while he was crying. He would be the baby, right?
Correct.
And this is her saying that not being able to go to her child because they were trying to do sleep training, she indicated that it was just about killing her, correct?
That's what was stated, yes.
And after that, I, meaning Lindsay, became obsessed with his sleep and nap schedule. Like to the minute, I would tell Laney, and you know who Laney is, right?
Yes.
Who's Laney?
The other child.
The what?
I'm sorry again, what's this?
Laney.
Laney?
Laney. L-A-N-E-Y, Laney.
Don't recall this time.
Do you recall that she had a young lady, or they had a young lady that was in their home helping with the baby while she was
I
supposed
don't
to...
recall this time.
Okay. That she would tell Laney to put him down at 10:36. I would also drive him around for car naps for hours every day, feeling guilty for doing this to my baby. Do you recall making that notation?
Yes.
I also feel guilty we did it too young, parenthesis, 1 week shy of 4 months, end parenthesis, right?
Correct.
You also noted in your report that I also, quote, I also feel like I did it wrong because I did it when he was overtired, so I made it harder. I now have horrible insomnia and anxiety, which is causing depression. I have no appetite. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want help. I want to be well. You saw that in there, didn't you?
Yes.
And then she went on and said, I think the anxiety started after sleep training. Doctor said it was okay to let him cry. I need to get a good night's sleep and take care of him, rocking him to sleep every nap in bed in the middle of the night. She noted that, right?
Yes.
Noting further in separate occasion, he's still a very happy baby despite his sleep training. Why I feel guilty is not really hitting his milestones, not rolling over, although he almost is, exclamation point, and he's babbling, which is a new milestone. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
She wrote, I have crazy brain fog. I feel like I can't make a plan. I can't carry it out. Like I just live moment to moment, waiting for the next nap time. I'm terrified of Cal getting overtired now because I feel I can't help him. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
She then wrote, I'm really worried about going back to work and not being able to function with the brain fog. I feel like I should start with a 4-hour shift and see how I do. I can't tell if I am withdrawing from Ativan and Benadryl, or is this my new baseline? I feel completely disconnected with my baby. I feel like I'm going through the motions every day. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
And there were a number of other entries that you put in your police report about that. One of which was that I feel horribly guilty about my marriage. I want to connect with Pat again. I know he needs it. I need it. I'm terrified because I'm terrified of the relationship. She needs to get birth control first. She made reference to her inability to have conjugal relations with her husband, right?
I believe so.
She indicated further on into her travels, I am completely overwhelmed trying to take care of the kids. I'm drowning every day. I feel guilty that I'm spending my family's money and not making any. I feel like I spend way too much. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
I'm terrified of Callan getting sick. He's a sick baby. A sick baby is miserable. He's sick now with a double ear infection. Clearly has a bellyache. It's miserable. I feel like the other kids are going to get him sick all winter long. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
I always feel strongly against sleep training. I feel like it's abusive to let the baby cry and not respond, but I made the decision. I did it with Cal. There's way too much crying. It's incredibly stressful. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
He's okay. He will be okay. It's not harmful in any way. The doctor said it was okay. Plenty of people sleep train their kids at that age. It's necessary as a third child, is what she wrote, right?
Correct.
I feel incredibly sad and guilty about not breastfeeding anymore. That was the one thing I could do to help his immune system, and I can tell he really doesn't like the formula. I'm very sad about this. I know at this time it's what I needed to do for my mental health. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
And then the statement started getting smaller and smaller as time went by. One occasion, it's like I'm desperate to get a mental break from taking care of everyone. My mind is trying to make something physically wrong with me. My mind never shuts off. It's constantly thinking of the next thing someone needs. I can't shut it off. I desperately want to go back to work, but now I don't know how I'm going to function, and it worries me. Wrote that, right?
Correct.
There were two pages that were blank that she didn't even write on. And then on the third entry, affirmations. She wrote affirmations. On November 22nd of 2022, I am calm. I will remain calm today. There is nothing that needs to be on my mind. The weight is lifted from my mind. I will sleep tonight. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
Continuing on into November, I slept well last night. I will sleep again tonight. Today will be a great day. I will go back to work on Sunday. I will thrive. I can feel like myself again. That was November 23rd. She wrote that, right?
I believe that's the day, yes.
Gratitude. I'm grateful for Sue, who's always listening. That'd be a mother-in-law. You knew that, right?
Yes.
Sue, I'm grateful to Sue for always listening and trying her best to help me. Kids are sleeping great for Pat. Pat is handling nighttime stuff. Julie for making a plan for me. A big thing is I feel disconnected with myself. Time, reality. I think going back to work will help with that. She wrote that, right?
Correct.
And then there are numbers of pages, 22 of 63, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, all reproducing what counsel asked you about and what I just went through that were from those journals, right?
Correct.
Did you have anything to do with the search of the house?
Yes.
Did you search in the bedroom?
Yes.
How many other people were with you searching in the bedroom?
I don't recall how many other people were with me at that time.
You know why nobody looked in the drawer and found?
It froze.